Happy Monday, everybody. This is BJ. Welcome back to the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this week's Raw. I mean, there was some stuff to really talk about from this week's Raw. Like, obviously, it was more of a stall show with Crown Jewel being this Saturday, but still some stuff that really was like, okay, this was cool to watch. So, you had the Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins angles. Really well done. Still making Bronson Reed look like a beast. Rollins, did a curb stomp. He was like, yeah, he's done. And then Bronson Reed's back up. And it's like they were making this guy look like a tank, which I really enjoyed the way they booked Bronson Reed. You had the tag team title number one contender match, which I thought was very good. And the main event was Dominic against Damian Priest, which I think they should have just confirmed that match last week. We all knew it was probably going to be Damian Priest. I mean, realistically, out of all the former world champions in the company, who else really makes sense to face Dom Mysterio right now? Really, what surprised me was Dom getting the win, so good for him. But still, I mean, just confirming the match, a week in advance. We already knew it was going to happen. But I'm here to talk about the Bloodline, obviously, and Sami Zayn. They had a lot of angles on this show, about 3 or 4 different segments. Jey and Jimmy kicked off the show. They hugged and everything, but they got down to business. And, Jimmy says, "You're my brother, you're my blood," all this. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but Jey gets serious and he goes like this to him. And he says, "Listen, this is going to be different this time. We ain't going to be nobody's lackeys. We ain't going to be nobody's boys. We ain't just going to be following somebody else. We going to be Jimmy and we going to be Jey. We going to be the Usos. We both are now known as Yeet and No Yeet. We are known as our own two guys now. We ain't just known as twin brothers. Yeet, No Yeet." And I really like this segment. Like, it showed that Jey is still not on board with being, on the same team as Roman Reigns right now. And obviously, Jimmy finishes off by saying, just come on SmackDown. The Tribal Chief, the OTC, is going to be on Friday Night SmackDown. Just come talk to him. See what he has to say. Because we have to stop this new bloodline of Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tongalo. We just have to. So Jey agrees later on in the show to go meet Roman. And, the Usos are reunited. The crowd goes, Usos, Usos. They do their yeet chants after every sentence pretty much. But I'm glad to see these two back together. Obviously, their match at WrestleMania was a letdown. Not sure if they're ever going to face off in a one-on-one again. I think that was really the only time we'll see that, at least on a big-time show. But it was cool to see them feud for a little bit. Now they're back together. Obviously, Jimmy's had some injuries, so he didn't really get as much time as a Solo as Jey did. But Jay's a former Intercontinental Champion now. You can't take that away from him. I know Rikishi's had some comments about how they should have kept the title on him longer. But, I mean, if we're being honest, like, if he's going to be involved in this bloodline story, there really isn't a need for him to be Intercontinental Champion. So I'm cool with him losing. He got his moment. That's what a lot of people wanted. Was it the best reign of all time? No, but he held it just under a month. So for me, I don't really have any complaints about that. But the show goes on, and they show Sami Zayn backstage with Jimmy and Jey. And he says, "Jey, can we talk?" And Jay's like, "Yeah, what's up, Oos?" And he goes, "No, I mean alone." So him and Jimmy have a stare down. Obviously, they still got their attention from the past bloodline drama and everything. Jimmy eventually just walks away. And Sammy's just making sure Jay's in the right headspace. Like, why are you working with Roman Reigns? And he's talking about, Jay's talking about how Solo Sikoa has been the one, he's been the problem. And, Sammy says, "Listen, each side's bad here. Solo's a bad dude, and Roman Reigns was the guy who was in your head for years, taking advantage of you. Is he really somebody you can trust in your family?" And, they talk for a little bit more, and Jay finishes it off with the quotes at the bottom of my video right now. "You wouldn't understand because you not family oos." And the crowd gives a huge gasp as he says that. And, I mean, he's not wrong. Sammy technically isn't family blood-wise, but he was a part of the bloodline. He knows everything that's went on within the bloodline. He knows about Roman Reigns and Solo and Jimmy and all this. So, man, when Jay said that to Sammy, I was like, that's a line right there. And the show goes on a little bit longer. Him and Jimmy talk about, meeting Roman on SmackDown. That's when Jay agrees to it and say, "I'll hear him out, We'll see what he has to say." And then the final segment they show right before the Dom and Priest match, Jimmy's going to go talk to Sammy. Jay walks up to him. He goes, "Yo, have you talked to Sammy yet?" And he goes, "Shh." and Sammy's out in the parking lot talking to Solo Sikoa. The crowd boos. They're in shock. So does this mean Sami Zayn's working with Solo Sikoa in the new bloodline? I mean, that line by Jey, you would understand because you're not family Usos. Does that cause Sami to be like, you know what? The way you talk to me, I'm not joining y'all. I'm joining Solo. Even though Sami said he's not on sides here, him talking to Solo is pretty interesting to me. So I thought that was a very interesting camera shot of him talking to Solo in a car. This story just has so many different layers to it. Now, I do think Sami will eventually join the OG Bloodline. It would make the most sense. But man, that right there adds another twist with this. Is Sami working with Solo? Is it real? Is it Sami trying to get some inside information? We'll have to see. But I thought that was probably the best part of Raw, the Bloodline segments. Obviously, there was some other stuff on the show that was good too, but really enjoyed that. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of these Bloodline segments. And I keep saying Bloodline segment, but the OG Bloodline segments, I guess I should say, the Usos, Sami segments. We haven't seen it in a minute. But let me know in the comments what you guys thought, whether you guys think Sami should join them or where you guys think the story will unfold. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more LTQ Wrestling Podcast content we post every week. Peace.